My name is Lewis Prompton, and this is not financial advice. So traveling for me was a major reason why I wanted to get into investing, because I wanted to make a lot of money whilst being anywhere in the world without having to work too hard to make that happen. And that's where I discovered trading. And after I discovered trading and I mastered that skill, I used that skill set to springboard into other forms of investment. I was actually talking on the phone with somebody the other day, someone who was interested in becoming a trader and using my training methodology in order to do that. And they asked me a question and they said to me, like, Lewis, if you're such a good trader, then why would you do all of these other things that you do as well? Wouldn't you just double down on your trading? Now, the problem with that is it kind of hits two bad mindsets. Number one bad mindset that it hits is that if you double down, you double the level of work that you do, you're going to get better results. That's not the case. That is maybe working hard, it's not working smart. What trading allows me to do is it allows me to work smart. It allows me to have low time commitment, yet high output reward for the financial comeback that I get as a result of that work. Like I said, I only trade 30 minutes a day. So if I'm only trading 30 minutes a day, I'm traveling around the world, I'm doing what I love to do, what else am I going to do with my time? You get to a point after a few years where you want to do more things. I'm also a big believer in having multiple asset classes, multiple streams of income. I don't like relying on just one thing. Anybody who's relying on one income, maybe right now you are relying on one income. You're relying on just a job, just the business that you maybe have that you are solely reliant on to bring in that capital to put food on the table. For me, that's an incredibly risky, that's an incredibly insecure place to put yourself in and to put your family in, relying solely on just one income stream. So I'm far more about creating different asset classes, different cash flow vehicles that bring in money. Because when one goes down, for example, at the moment with everything that's going on in the economy, my longer term buy and hold investments are down compared to what they have been by 20%, some of them. However, my trading is providing me a steady income still, as is my property investments, as are my businesses. So I'm okay because I've got those multiple streams of income. If all I had was one job and I lost that, if all I had was stocks and shares, then I would be in a bit of a tricky situation. I wouldn't be very, very comfortable like I am right now. So for me, it's about having multiple asset classes, which lowers the stress and gives me greater freedom and greater choice to experience, greater freedom to experiment and try out different things, to find out maybe new things that I'm passionate about, try out new hobbies and all of that kind of stuff. That's what creating a life that you want is all about. And the only way you're going to do that is by cutting down the amount of time you put into things that you don't want to do. And often we're doing things we don't want to do because we don't have the financial backing to pull away from those things. We still need to pay the bills and put food on the table. So if you want to create the life that you want, one of the things you are going to have to do is increase the level of income that you are making from somewhere. It doesn't have to be the job, but it has to come from somewhere. So the only other option really is some form of investment. Okay, so I've changed angle here because I need to make sure that my arm doesn't die. It was about to drop off by holding it like that. So yeah, if you want to increase choice, if you want to increase freedom and option in your life, if you want to start finding the things that you truly are passionate about, then it's going to have to be done by some form of investing. So you've got loads of different choices about that. I've got previous videos where I talk about the different options that you've got right now to start creating additional cash flow and additional things. But there's stuff you have to think differently about. So if you are currently in a job, for example, thinking that that is going to take care of you for the rest of your life, probably not the best way to be going about it, because what that's going to be doing internally is that's going to be breeding in you comfort. And if you are feeling completely comfortable, completely at peace about where your financial situation is right now, and you're not thinking about the potential of what could happen, and you're therefore not building a firmer foundation of financial stability, then you're going to get caught off guard. And I do believe that we are heading into a recession, and it's potentially going to be one of the biggest ones we've seen in a very, very long time. This is not going to be just a correction. This is not going to be a short-term thing. Please read the writing on the wall. There is so much stuff going on in the global economies. Cost of living in the UK is insane. Cost of living everywhere is going up. Taxes are probably going to go up, although they're saying they're not. They've already scrapped the tax reduction, one of the tax reductions I saw the other day. So they say things and then they do the opposite. Sound familiar? So what you need to be doing is not relying on your comfortable position, thinking everything is going to be okay for me. I've got a well-paid job, I've got this, I've got that. Unless you are getting a pay rise of at least 10% every single year, then your job isn't keeping up with inflation. So you're working just as hard, if not harder, for lower return of actual buying power, spending power of your money. Inflation basically means that next month, what you could afford to buy with that same amount of money is now lower. That's what inflation means. The cost of living is going up. Not only is inflation eating away at the value of your money, the cost of those things is also going up. So you're being hit with a double whammy there of what is basically a surefire way to end up in a not great financial position and not great financial situation if you don't take action. So what I'm wanting to do here is I'm wanting to help you realize that there is things that you can do to improve your situation. You have to take action. One of my favorite quotes that I literally put on my wall when I was going through this whole process of learning to become an investor and learning to trade: change requires action. Now, the reason I put that on there is because I tend to have a bit of a tendency to be, not lazy is the wrong word, but to be a bit comfortable. And I don't want to live in a place of comfortability. I know where I wanted to take my life. I knew what I needed to do to get there. Well, initially, I didn't actually know what I needed to do. I looked for ways that I could make that a reality. And so initially, I was thinking property investment, but I didn't have the capital to do that. Then I discovered trading, and trading meant I could start with a low amount of capital and build it up over time. You don't get to the position you want to get into like that. It doesn't happen overnight. There's stepping stones of decision that you need to take, and each of those steps will take you closer and closer towards it. One thing that frustrates me more than anything when I talk to people who want to, but don't take any action, want to create the life that they say that they want, is that they use their reason for becoming financially independent, financially free, financially stable as their excuse to not do it. So an example of this would be, hi Lewis, yeah, I really want to learn to trade. However, I don't have the time. Okay, but you've just told me that the reason you want to learn to trade is so you have more time. You can't use your reason for wanting to become financially free, financially independent as your reason why you're not doing something. That's so messed up. There's something going wrong in your brain there. You just have to catch it. And I've had so many of those situations in my life, but I've had mentors and coaches who point out when I've got this imbalance between what I say I want and what I'm using as an excuse, between what I say I want and what I'm using as a barrier to me getting to where I want to get. It's just excuses. So if you want to create the life that you want, make it happen. Don't use excuses. Don't use the fact that you need to spend time with your family as a reason why you can't move forward. Don't use the fact that you've got no time as an excuse to not move forward, especially when you're saying that's what you want to make. So make sure you do it differently. I'm going to level with you. Creating the life that you want, the gap between where you are now and where you want to be is probably quite big, but it's not as big as you think. But that gap is going to require you to think differently and to act differently. It's going to require you to have to give up your excuses. It's going to require you to have to take different action. It's going to require you to invest time, invest energy, and invest money into yourself. If you're not willing to invest those three things into you and into your future, then you will never ever get anywhere in life. That's simple, universal science, universal laws. Nothing grows without seed. Nothing grows without investment. Nothing grows without you taking care of that investment and of that seed. So make sure that if you want to create the life that you want, that you're investing time, money, and energy into yourself, and that you are taking care of those investments as well. So you're actually using them, you're taking action on them. Because otherwise, it's all for nothing. That's what I did when I went from working in retail, being able to travel the world full-time, trading and investing in property, and now multiple asset classes as well. It's all choices and stepping stones along the way. Sometimes hard choices, but in the grand scheme of things, it's an easy choice to create the life that you want. My hope is that you will create the life that you want. So please like, subscribe, and share this video with people who you think will also inspire, who you think it will help. My name is Lewis Crompton, and this is not financial advice.